Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving headfirst into the creative revolution that's being driven by artificial intelligence. And look, we're not just talking about some new fancy tools here. We are talking about a massive, fundamental shift in how ideas get born, how they're developed, and how they're brought to life.
So, this is the big question, right? The one on everybody's mind. Is this thing here to replace us or to unleash us? The answer, well, it's not nearly as simple as you might think. Some people see a huge threat, while others are seeing the single greatest opportunity in a generation. And in this explainer, we're going to unpack why both of them might be right. To really get a handle on where all this is going, we first need to take a quick look back at just how dramatically things have already changed. I mean, the creative landscape of just a couple of years ago, it's almost unrecognizable today. Think about it. Just a few years ago, any serious creative project needed these huge, expensive teams. You had your creative directors, your art directors, writers, photographers, the whole shebang, all fueling this massive agency engine. Now, a single creative, one person, armed with the right AI skills can basically replicate that entire engine and produce world-class work in a tiny fraction of the time. This shift is, well, it's the great equalizer. It means the opportunity for individual creators to produce absolutely incredible work has never, ever been greater. The playing field is being leveled right before our eyes. But, and this is a really important but, there's a catch. And it's the thing that determines whether you sink or swim in this new world. Okay, so let's get into it. Research from Stanford University has uncovered this really surprising reason why some creatives are absolutely thriving with AI while others are just falling behind. And get this, it has very little to do with technical skill. It's all about mindset. Now, this sounds completely backwards, right? Researchers ran these studies in both Europe and the US, and they found that for a lot of people, AI actually got in the way of their creativity. It hindered them. The difference between the people who succeeded and those who didn't, well, it all came down to one fundamental shift in how they were thinking. And this quote just illustrates the core idea so brilliantly. The folks who struggled treated AI like a tool, like a paintbrush or a word processor. You think it up, you use it, you put it down. But the outperformers, they treated AI like a teammate, a collaborator. And the second you make that mental switch from tool to teammate, absolutely everything changes. So what does that actually look like in practice? Well, think about it this way. If a junior teammate on your team gave you some pretty mediocre work, you wouldn't just toss it in the trash and say, "You're useless." No, you'd give feedback, right? You'd coach them. It's the exact same thing with AI. You guide it, you help it get better, and you can even flip the script and get it to ask you questions to better understand what you're trying to achieve. And this is where that teammate idea gets really, really powerful. You can actually flip the whole dynamic. Instead of just barking orders at it, you can tell the AI to act like an expert consultant and interview you about your project. It'll ask you clarifying questions until it truly understands your goals, and then it can give you tailored recommendations for how it can best help. It's an incredible technique. Okay, so with that teammate mindset locked in, let's see how this actually translates into creating real, professional-grade work. This is where all that theory meets practice. At the very heart of this visual revolution are these things called text-to-image models. And honestly, they basically work like magic. You just describe what you want to see, and the AI creates a totally unique image right from scratch. The way it does this is it starts with a field of just random pixels, kind of like TV static, and it slowly, step by step, refines it until it turns into a clear picture that matches your words. Wild. Now, the key to controlling these incredible models is mastering the prompt. Your prompt is essentially the creative brief you're giving to your new AI teammate. The Ryzen method here is a really powerful framework for that. You define the AI's role, your intent, the style you're after, give it some examples, and then add any specific notes or constraints. So what's the payoff? Well, with that teammate mindset and a really detailed prompt, this stylistic range you can achieve is just staggering. I mean, look at this. On the left, you've got HVN, this super sophisticated, minimalist luxury brand. And on the right, Cold Verse Delicious, which is all vibrant street art and bold, raw energy. Both of these were generated by an AI, guided by a human creative director. And we're not just talking about logos here. You can generate entire brand concepts, complete with product mock-ups, ad campaigns, the works. Like this classic, friendly Cold Bear brand. This entire scene, from the packaging to the billboard itself, is just an AI's interpretation of a creative prompt. Or you can explore completely different aesthetics. Here's Melt Club, a brand with a much edgier, kind of character-driven retro vibe. This just shows you how quickly you can use AI to prototype multiple, totally distinct visual identities. Now, this incredible power, it doesn't come without some pretty serious complications. With any new technology come new questions, and right now we are truly in the Wild West when it comes to the law. There's no roadmap for this. There's no established legal framework. The rules are literally being written in real time, and they're often being written through messy, high-profile court cases that are going to set the precedents for years to come. And the major players are already in court, fighting over these fundamental creative rights. We're seeing disputes over personal identity, like Scarlett Johansson's case against an AI voice that sounded eerily like her. We're seeing fights over intellectual property, like the producers of Blade Runner 2049 suing Tesla. And we are seeing massive copyright battles, with studios like Disney going after AI platforms for training on their iconic characters. And beyond the courtroom, this technology opens up these huge philosophical questions for every single creative out there. Who actually owns AI-generated art? How do we deal with the biases that are baked into these models? And when 1,000 people can prompt a masterpiece in minutes, what does it even mean for that work to be authentic? These are the big, tough, open questions we are all navigating right now. So, what does all this mean for the future of creativity itself? Where does where do we fit into this brand new world? I absolutely love this definition. It comes from a 7th grader in Ohio, of all places, and it is just perfect. You see, the biggest danger with AI is that it's easier than ever to get a good enough first idea and just stop there. It's a tendency that academics call satisficing, basically settling. Your most important job now is to fight that instinct. Your job is to use your AI teammate to generate volume and variation, to come up with dozens of ideas, not just one. And then it's up to you to apply your unique human taste, your strategic thinking, and your vision to push past all the good enough stuff and find that one truly exceptional world-class idea. And that leaves us with this final thought. Creativity isn't being replaced, it's being amplified. The future doesn't belong to the AI, and it certainly doesn't belong to the creatives who refuse to use it. No, the future belongs to those who learn not just to use AI, but to truly work with it.